What allowed one man to endure wars, a devastating pandemic, economic crises, political conspiracies, the loss of 8 of his 13 children, and still remain clear-minded, composed, and remembered as one of the greatest leaders in history? This is not just the story of Marcus Aurelius. It is the answer to a question that millions of people are still asking today. How do you keep your inner peace when your life seems to be falling apart? Over the course of 19 years, while ruling the greatest empire in the world, Marcus Aurelius wrote down thoughts he never intended to publish. He was not writing to teach anyone, much less to be admired. He was writing to remind himself how to remain steadfast in the face of hardship. Those personal reflections eventually became meditations, and perhaps that is exactly what makes this book so different from any other. It was not written to impress readers, but to help sustain a man carrying the weight of an empire on his shoulders while struggling every single day to remain just, disciplined, and calm. It is that honesty that makes meditation such a powerful work. You will not find theories disconnected from real life. You will find someone confronting fear, suffering, loss, and overwhelming responsibility, while trying to answer the very same question we still ask today. How can you live well, even when life is difficult? If this wisdom was powerful enough to sustain one of the most influential men in history through the darkest moments of his life, imagine what it can do for someone facing the battles of the modern world. In this video, I have gathered 22 principles drawn from meditations, presented in a simple and practical way, so you can apply this wisdom to your own life and develop greater clarity, emotional strength, and inner peace, no matter what circumstances you face. Principle 1. Your mind is stronger. Your mind must be stronger than your body and your emotions. Understand that you have a body and a mind, but it is your mind, with its ability to think and reason, that makes you unique. Using that ability well means making the most of what nature has given you. Deep down, you already know what you should do, but sometimes you don't do it because you let your body take control. When you decide to do something, like waking up half an hour earlier but end up not doing it because you're tired, feeling lazy, or simply don't have the motivation, you allow those feelings to control you. In those moments, start asking yourself, am I going to let this control me? Giving in means allowing your body or your emotions to take command of your mind, which inevitably leads to sadness and regret. That happens because you are not allowing your mind to live up to its full potential. The secret is to master your mind. Once you master your mind, you begin to do what is right. And doing what is right is the path to true happiness. The moment you begin to rely on reason and logic, your life will change completely, almost as if it happened overnight. In just a few days, you will feel so much stronger and so much better that it will seem as though you have gone through years of personal growth. That happens when you return to your core principles and give reason the value it deserves. Strengthen your mind so that it rules over your body and your emotions. By thinking this way, you can change your life for the better. Principle 2. Respect yourself. Value your self-respect in every decision you make. Always ask yourself, am I acting in a way that my future self will be proud of? Am I staying true to what I believe? Be careful not to say or do anything that does not reflect what you truly believe. Never consider something good if it means breaking a promise, losing your self-respect, or allowing yourself to hate someone. When you feel anger rising, remember that true strength is not found in giving in to your emotions, but in your ability to remain kind and courteous. True strength, bravery, and courage belong to those who stay calm and maintain self-control, not to those who are carried away by passion and dissatisfaction. Never become a tyrant and never surrender to the will of others out of mere whim. Principle 3. Do what must be done. There is one question that determines the course of an entire life, and almost no one realizes they are answering it every single day. When the time comes to act, What determines your choices, your principles, or your discomfort? It seems like a small difference, but it separates completely different kinds of people. Most people do not choose the path they believe is right. They choose the path that brings the least fear, the least effort, the least conflict, the least responsibility. Without realizing it, they begin to organize their entire lives around avoiding whatever makes them uncomfortable. And that is one of the greatest mistakes anyone can make, because every time discomfort becomes your advisor, you stop building your life and start managing your fears instead. The Stoics saw this with remarkable clarity. They did not ask whether a task would be difficult. They asked whether it was the right thing to do. They did not ask whether they would be criticized. They asked whether they were acting with integrity. They did not ask whether it would be comfortable. They asked whether this was the man or the woman they wanted to become. Marcus Aurelius wrote that, "When it is time to act, we should not waste time debating how a good person ought to live. We should simply live that way." There is extraordinary power hidden in that idea, because the moment you begin making decisions based on your principles instead of your emotions in the moment, something inside you changes. You stop being pushed around by circumstances and begin moving with purpose. And perhaps that is the greatest freedom a human being can ever achieve. The freedom to keep doing what must be done, even when the desire disappears. Even when fear shows up, even when no one can guarantee that it will work out. Because in the end, a strong life is not built on the decisions that seem easy. It is built on the decisions that remain right, even when they become difficult. And it is precisely in those decisions that character stops being an idea and becomes a reality. Principle 4. When you encounter cruelty, when you come across rudeness, hostility, or harsh criticism, see it as an opportunity to grow and become better. If the criticism is fair, it is a chance to learn and improve, so accept it with an open heart, without feeling diminished or inferior. But if the criticism is unfair, remember that we all make mistakes. There is no need to take it personally or hold on to resentment. Start remembering your own mistakes and look at the person criticizing you with compassion. Likewise, if you need to correct someone, do it with respect and humility, with the goal of helping, not with the intention of hurting them or placing yourself above them. Speak to the person directly, and if that doesn't work, reflect on the virtues we can use to overcome our flaws. Kindness, for example, is a powerful antidote to cruelty. When you respond to negative actions with kindness, many people won't know how to react. And even those who feel no shame and continue to act rudely, do not let their behavior define your moral character. Regardless of what others do, your mission is always to be kind. If you trusted someone who did not deserve your trust, see it as a lesson and understand that your mistake was being too naive. Believe in kindness, but accept the reality that some people have bad intentions. That understanding prepares us for life. And understand that the evil done by others only affects your inner peace and harms your soul if you choose to return evil with evil. It is your responsibility to be good and not allow their wrongdoing to change who you are. The best revenge is not to become like your enemy. Principle 5. Everything depends on how you interpret it. Marcus Aurelius teaches us something incredibly powerful. Everything depends on how you interpret what happens in your life. He teaches us a practical way of looking at life. Basically, what affects us is how we choose to see our circumstances, not the circumstances themselves. That means we always have a choice in how we respond to whatever happens. For example, if it starts raining, we can get frustrated with the weather and complain about having to drive home in the rain because traffic will be worse, the subway will run slower, or we can be grateful that we're alive, able to work, and able to feel the rain. The idea is simple. We can clear our minds of impressions and thoughts that are harmful and pessimistic and find peace of mind very quickly. The key is to train your mind to see the positive side of things. Ultimately, you become what you consistently think about. So start paying attention to the thoughts that fill your mind, the thoughts that cross your mind when you wake up, what you think about before you fall asleep, and the thoughts that occupy your day. Because they are the ones that will set the rhythm of your life. Your soul is dyed by the color of your thoughts. Principle 6. Don't isolate yourself from the world. We were made to live together and help one another. Don't let anger, discouragement, or even the bitter opinions of a few people stop you from doing good in the world. We should all feel good about helping others because it's the right thing to do. Try to understand people and learn to appreciate them, even when they make mistakes. That becomes much easier when we remember that we all make mistakes, and none of us will live forever. In the end, we're all on the same journey, and regardless of what other people do, they have no power to hurt us unless we allow them to. One helpful mental strategy is to focus on the positive qualities of the people around you. Everyone has talents and strengths. It might be someone's energy, simplicity, or generosity. Doing this will help you see others in a more positive light, and it will leave you feeling more inspired. Principle 7. Avoid complaining. There is a trap that seems harmless, but it has the power to weaken a person little by little without them even realizing it. Complaining, and not because complaining is morally wrong, but because every complaint teaches your own mind something. Think about what happens when you repeatedly complain about a situation. At first, it feels like you're just venting, then it becomes a habit, and without realizing it, that habit begins to change the way you see yourself. Because every time you say, or even think, "This is unbearable, I can't take this anymore, nothing ever goes right in my life," you're not just describing a situation. You're training your mind to believe that it doesn't have enough resources to deal with it. Complaining has this strange effect. It rarely changes the problem, but it almost always changes who you believe you are in the face of it. The Stoics knew that difficult, unfair, and painful things happen, denying that would be denying reality, but what they refused to do was give suffering more authority than it actually deserved, because there is a huge difference between recognizing a hardship and continually feeding that hardship inside your own mind. When you break your leg, the pain is in your leg. But when you spend weeks telling yourself that your life is over because of it, the pain is no longer only in your body. It has become part of your identity, and that's exactly what complaining does. It mentally extends events that in many cases have already come to an end. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the obstacle to action can become the action itself. But that only happens when you stop wasting energy asking why it happened and start asking what you're going to do from this moment forward. That shift seems small, but it completely changes the position you occupy in life. You stop being someone who merely suffers through circumstances and become someone who responds to them. That doesn't mean enduring everything in silence or pretending you never need help. The Stoics themselves recognized the importance of learning from others and accepting support when necessary. There is courage in asking for help. What takes no strength at all is turning complaining into a place to live. Because people who spend too much time complaining eventually hand over a part of their own freedom to the problem. There is one simple question that can change the way you face any difficulty. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What does this situation still allow me to do?" As long as there is an answer to that question, there is room to act. And as long as there is room to act, there is still power in your hands. Maybe that's exactly why strong people are not the ones who face fewer hardships. They are the ones who refuse to let every hardship determine how they see their own abilities. Because complaining may bring relief for a few minutes, but taking action brings transformation. And every time you choose to act before you complain, you strengthen one of the rarest qualities a human being can develop: the ability to remain greater than your circumstances. Principle 8. Life is short. Remember that life is short and death is inevitable for everyone, so the time to act is now. It is essential to choose justice, honesty, courage, self-control, and rational action above everything else. Think about how many times you have postponed your plans and procrastinated, how many opportunities have slipped away. Your life is limited and time is passing. Stop seeking other people's approval and stop putting things off. Decide today that you are going to take action. Do not live as if you have all the time in the world. Death is always waiting in the shadows. Choosing to live well today can put an end to your inner suffering. You suffer because you choose to become a better person tomorrow instead of today. One way to change this is to think of the part of your life up to this point as already finished. And from today on, you are living a new life, one that should be lived the right way. Think of yourself as someone who has already lived an entire lifetime. Now, with the time you have left, live the right way. It is shameful for your soul to give up while your body is still capable. As we grow older, our chances of accomplishing great things may become smaller, but that does not mean we should stop building our character and doing what is right. Even if you never became the great thinker or scientist you once imagined, you can still become free, remain humble, serve others, and live according to Stoic principles. Just as we accept our physical limitations, we should also accept the limits of our lives. Death comes for everyone, and the fear of the future should never keep us from acting with courage today. With this mindset, we can fully live every moment we have left. Principle 9. Choose to do what is right. Focus on doing what is right, even if other people disagree. If something isn't right, don't do it. If something isn't true, don't say it. Don't do something wrong just because everyone else is doing it, and don't worry about whether people will praise you for doing the right thing. When you do something good, do it because you genuinely want to help, not because you're expecting something in return. The act of doing good is already its own reward. True fulfillment comes from doing one good deed after another, acting with kindness and virtue, whether people appreciate it or even recognize it. Don't let someone else's bad behavior pull you away from your own path. Be happy with every bit of progress, no matter how small, and feel good simply because you chose to help. If your goal is to do what is right, you'll be on the right path, even when obstacles appear. Don't base your happiness on what other people think or do, but on your own actions. If you're in a leadership position, be prepared for criticism, but keep doing what's right without expecting applause. What matters is staying true to what is right, without seeking anyone's approval. Don't let other people's opinions stop you from doing what is right. Principle 10. Act with purpose. Stay alert and practice acting with intention. Too often we go through life on autopilot, doing things without ever really thinking about them. Avoid actions that have no purpose or that aren't aligned with solid principles. Don't drift through life without direction. Make a conscious effort to observe your own mind with a critical eye, as if you were evaluating someone else's mind. Always ask yourself, what am I using my mind for right now? What kind of person am I being? Am I acting like a child, a tyrant, or an animal? What's causing me to act this way? If you can control your actions and your thoughts, and live in an organized and intentional way, you'll find peace of mind. If you don't pay attention to the movements of your own mind, unhappiness, insecurity, and anxiety will continue to grow. You can find relief from external problems at any moment, simply by turning inward. But remember to do that briefly, and don't disconnect yourself completely from the world. Principle 11. The power of believing in yourself. It is curious how we often place more value on other people's opinions of us than on our own, even though we care about ourselves more than anyone else. That does not mean we should be arrogant, but rather trust ourselves and do what we believe is right, without placing so much importance on or worrying so much about what other people might think. You know your reasons, and you do not have to explain your decisions to everyone. It is even worse when we seek to impress or earn the approval of people we do not even respect. Think about it. Does praise from someone you do not admire really matter? Marcus Aurelius teaches us not to become too attached to praise and to reflect on how much it truly matters in our lives, asking ourselves whether the constant search for recognition is leaving us empty inside. Be authentic and be genuine. There is no need to show off or pretend to be someone you are not just to please others or gain an advantage. What truly matters is being your true self. 12. Be flexible. It is better to be corrected than to keep deceiving yourself. That is why you should always be willing to accept correction. Changing your mind is not a sign of weakness. On the contrary, it shows that you are free and capable of making honorable decisions, especially when new information reveals that you were mistaken. But change for the right reasons, and do it because it is the right thing to do, not simply to please other people or because of the social pressure they put on you. The decision to change should be yours, based on what you truly believe and know. 13. Value freedom. Learn to accept that everyone has the right to express their opinions, even when you disagree with them. Instead of trying to control other people, focus on how you respond. Listen carefully and with empathy, even when what you hear is not what you agree with, and try to put yourself in the other person's shoes without judgment. Stand up for equal rights for everyone, believing in a society where the law applies equally to all people, regardless of their social status or influence. Remember that true leaders value the freedom of their people above everything else. Be aware that power can corrupt, leading to malice, hypocrisy, and even cruelty. If you ever find yourself in a position of leadership, remember those risks. Maintain self-control and resist the temptation to become a tyrant. Strive to become the person philosophy calls you to be, remaining committed to equality and to respecting everyone's freedom. 14. The obstacle is the way. In life, the obstacles we encounter can actually become the path forward. We can ignore them and pretend they don't exist. Or we can follow Marcus Aurelius's advice and see them as an opportunity. Ask yourself, good, what opportunity does this create? This way of looking at things shows how your perspective can turn difficulties into opportunities. The mind is incredibly adaptable, capable of redirecting obstacles to serve our purposes. What blocks our path can actually guide our journey. Of course, no one wants to deal with problems like having their car break down or losing their job. But instead of complaining and digging yourself even deeper into a hole, you begin looking for a way out and for the lesson hidden inside the situation. Start asking yourself, what can I gain from this? That mindset turns the obstacle into the path itself, opening up new possibilities. You possess the greatest tool any human being has, your mind. But only you are in control of it, and you can make it work either against you or in your favor. Through his meditations, Marcus Aurelius offers us a collection of mental strategies for making life more peaceful. He used these psychological tools to remain true to himself while facing some of the worst atrocities of the ancient world. We can do the same. 15. Adversity is part of life. The universe is not organized around our personal wishes. We were not the only people chosen to face problems, hardships, and situations that make life more difficult. Accepting that difficulties, setbacks, and even tragedies are part of life is recognizing what it truly means to be alive. And Marcus Aurelius reminds us that every one of us will go through these experiences. He advises that instead of hoping hard times never come, we should develop the strength of character needed to face them. When we expect nothing bad or painful to happen to us, we place our focus on something we cannot control. Instead, we should build the inner strength to endure whatever challenges come our way, and that is entirely within our reach. When difficult moments arrive, we should be like a rocky cliff, standing against the crashing waves, steady, unshaken, and capable of calming the storm within our own lives. Marcus Aurelius encourages us to develop a resilience that gives us the strength to face any adversity with courage. 16. Turning challenges into strength. There is an idea that comforts many people, but rarely transforms anyone. The idea that difficulties exist only to test our strength. Marcus Aurelius saw something even deeper. Challenges do not simply reveal how strong you are. They reveal exactly where you still need to grow. Think about it for a moment. If criticism completely destroys your peace of mind, maybe the problem is not the criticism. Maybe it simply revealed that your peace still depended on other people's approval. If failure makes you believe you are not capable, maybe the problem is not the failure. Maybe it revealed that your confidence was built only on your results. If an unexpected change completely throws you off balance, maybe the change did not create that weakness. It simply exposed it. That is why challenges hold a value that very few people recognize. They reveal what a comfortable life is able to hide. As long as everything is going well, anyone believes they are patient. As long as everything happens according to plan, anyone believes they control their emotions. As long as no one disagrees with them, anyone believes they are emotionally balanced. But adversity reveals the truth, and that revelation, as uncomfortable as it may be, is a gift. Because no one can strengthen what they do not yet know needs to be strengthened. The Stoics never wasted suffering when it inevitably arrived. They asked themselves, "What is this difficulty trying to teach me about myself?" That question completely changes the position you occupy in life. You stop seeing every obstacle as an enemy and begin seeing it as a teacher. Because there is something fascinating about challenges. They never target the skills you have already mastered. They always find the very area of your life that still needs to mature. That is why some difficulties seem to repeat themselves, not because life is against you, but because there is still a lesson you have not fully learned. And when you finally do learn it, something changes. The difficulty stops being just a burden and becomes one of the reasons you grew into the person you are today. Perhaps that is exactly what Marcus Aurelius meant when he wrote that the impediment to action advances action. The obstacle does not have to disappear for you to grow. Very often, it is the obstacle itself that produces your growth. So the next time life places something difficult in front of you, try changing the question to, "What part of me is this situation revealing?" Because the answer to that question may be worth more than the solution to the problem itself. And once you begin looking at challenges this way, they stop being nothing more than difficult moments. They become the places where your character finds the opportunity to grow. Perhaps life's greatest irony is this: the situations we most wish we could avoid are often the very ones that bring us closer to the person we have always wanted to become. 17. Human nature never changes. The universe is always changing, but human experiences remain the same forever. Whether it is betrayal by a partner, disappointment from a friend, or professional setbacks, every one of these situations has already been lived by countless other people. Instead of letting ourselves be consumed by negative emotions, it is far more useful to focus our attention on what truly matters. Think about the countless people who have gone through situations just like yours, who felt shaken or became bitter, only to realize in the end that those emotions led them nowhere. Is that really how you want your story to end? Marcus Aurelius encourages us not to let these experiences control us, but instead to focus on what we can do with them, treating them as raw material for our own growth. Always keep your expectations under control, and remember that Stoic philosophy teaches us to focus only on the things that truly matter in life. 18. Be practical and deal with what is right in front of you. Stop drifting through life without purpose and stop getting distracted. Stay committed and keep your focus strong, especially after you have made a decision. If you want peace of mind, do fewer things, but do them well. Approach every task as if it were the last one of your life. Do not allow your emotions to overpower your judgment. Eliminate unnecessary thoughts and stop worrying about the future, creating anxieties that do not even exist yet. Master your emotions and focus on the present, treating this moment as a one-of-a-kind opportunity. Let go of false ideas and avoid acting on emotional impulses. With dedication, you can master even what seems impossible. Whenever you face a challenge, ask yourself, "Why can't I do this?" You will be embarrassed by your own answer. Do not worry about physical traits that you cannot change. Instead, focus on developing virtues that are within your reach, such as honesty, dignity, resilience, simplicity, moderation, patience, sincerity, integrity, and generosity. These are the true qualities you can cultivate to face any situation with integrity and inner strength. 19. Practice getting back on track. There is no one who has never made a mistake. Every one of us has stumbled and fallen, and when that happens, the secret is getting back up quickly and moving forward. The faster you return to your path, the better you will become at handling life's twists and turns. Deep change is difficult, so none of us is immune to moments of weakness when we slip back into old habits. What matters is recognizing those moments and committing yourself to getting back on course. Ignore that inner voice telling you to quit just because you failed. Do not feel frustrated or discouraged if not every day is perfect. Get back up after every stumble and value your progress, even when it is imperfect. Celebrate your efforts and throw yourself into your work with enthusiasm while avoiding the trap of pride or the desire to show off. The pursuit of external validation and the need to impress others only slow your progress, because pride and the constant urge to prove yourself pull you away from what truly matters, especially when you believe you are already focused on your highest priorities. Principle 20. See things as they really are. One effective way to reduce the power things have over us is to look at them realistically. For example, Marcus Aurelius described wine as fermented grape juice, and his purple robes, a symbol of imperial power, as cloth dyed with the ink of a sea snail. We can apply this same approach not only to objects, but also to actions and behaviors. It is important to examine the principles that guide people's lives so you can understand what they truly value and what they try to avoid. Try to look beyond appearances to discover what really motivates someone's love, admiration, or vanity. Ask yourself whether someone's disapproval truly has the power to affect you, or whether praise really brings any lasting benefit. Learn to see things as they really are, so you are not controlled by them, or led through life like a puppet by your own emotions. Principle 21. Money is neither good nor bad. Understand that material wealth by itself is neither good nor bad. Its true value depends on how you choose to use it. Calling material possessions goods can be misleading, because having an abundance of them does not guarantee a better life. Your greatest riches are found in your virtues, in the respect you have for your own mind, and in your inner contentment. If we place too much value on material things, we will never be truly free. There will always be the fear of losing what we have, or the envy of what others possess. The mistake lies both in wanting too much and in refusing to accept what is given. Both attitudes give far too much power to material things over our lives. The best way to deal with this is not to let wealth or possessions have so much control over you. Use what you have wisely, but be ready to let it go if necessary. Enjoy what you have without showing off and without feeling guilty for having it. And if there is something you do not have, do not let it trouble you. Appreciate what you have today by imagining how much you would value it if it were suddenly gone. But never become so attached that losing it would destroy your peace. Principle 22. Practice gratitude. Practicing gratitude transforms your life, as Marcus Aurelius demonstrates at the beginning of Meditations, where he expresses gratitude for the lessons he learned in his youth. He appreciates the development of good character, self-control, and the practice of generosity, kindness, and good humor. He also highlights the importance of education, hard work, practical skills, and living simply. Marcus Aurelius also advises staying away from gossip and other people's conflicts, speaking clearly, valuing freedom of expression, and resolving disagreements peacefully. He values being grateful for every gift received and having the ability to offer sincere praise rather than compliments that are shallow or forced. He reminds us not to use being too busy as an excuse to neglect what truly matters, to listen when our friends need us, to respect our teachers, and to give genuine attention to children. He emphasizes treating people according to their character, avoiding unnecessary criticism, always acting with dignity, and, rather than talking about being a good person, simply being one. These teachings inspire us to appreciate our experiences, honor the people who have shaped our lives, and live every day with a deep sense of gratitude. The Stoic house preserves timeless wisdom for those facing modern battles. If this video made you stronger, support the channel by giving it a like, share that strength with someone who needs it, and subscribe so we can continue this journey together. Thank you for watching.